Mulayam Singh Yadav, will not be only remembered as a veteran politician, but someone who, could manage treacherous allies. He was someone who experienced coalition government. And perhaps that he learned because he was mentored by stalwarts like Ram Manohar Lohia. His own rise to politics started when he became the Defense Minister of India in 1996 in the United Front government. So when it was about the United Front government or forming an alliance with BSP, which later turned out to be the arch rival of the Samajwadi Party and went on to define Uttar Pradesh politics as which made almost the UP politics bipolar for 2 decades. Mulayam Singh Yadav had given that example that you can form alliances with your arch rivals only because of some political compulsions, as he had put out. He had settled the transition, the power transition or succession debate within the Samajwadi Party long before. Akhilesh Yadav became the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in 2012 when Mulayam Singh Yadav had chosen to step back. And that entire power transition played out on the streets of Lucknow when there was a protest by Shivpal Yadav as well. So having said that, his entire family may have been a divided house into 2 groups, but it remains in many ways more so even today. But to a great extent, Mulayam Singh Yadav ensured that Samajwadi Party will be associated with his son Akhilesh Yadav. He served as the Union Defense Minister under the United Front government from 1996 to 1998. After that, he was elected to the Lok Sabha for the first time in 1997, as Pranshu was pointing out. And currently, he was a member of the parliament from the Azamgarh Lok Sabha constituency. So besides being Chief Minister for 3 non-consecutive terms, he was also a member of parliament. So that experience of state politics and also of central politics, the Delhi politics, was something that Mulayam Singh Yadav's long political career, which has been checkered with multiple highs, multiple lows, and multiple controversies, will be remembered. So we are waiting for messages to come in from various quarters, but what we are being told by sources in the Samajwadi Party is that the mortal remains of Netaji will be taken to his family home of Saifai, where the cremations and the last rites will happen. So perhaps in the next 1 hour or 2, the entire movement to Saifai will begin.
Absolutely. And before I get back, Pranshu, in, I just want to draw attention to the condolences that are pouring in, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also has just taken to Twitter. He's tweeted out some pictures of him and Mulayam Singh Yadav in happier times. He says, Mulayam Singh Yadav ji, a distinguished leader himself in UP and national politics. He was a key soldier for democracy during the emergency. As the defense minister, he worked for a stronger India. His parliamentary interventions were insightful and emphasized on furthering national interest. That's the tweet that has come to the fore from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he also goes on to talk about what a remarkable personality Mulayam Singh Yadav was. And Pranshu, that really is what we've been talking about, not just the politician that Mulayam Singh Yadav was, but the person that he was as well, a humble, grounded leader. His personality is something that appealed to many others, irrespective of political ideologies.
Yes, that's right. In fact, Mulayam Singh was so dear to the party Karkartas, and I think the reason being that Mulayam Singh was in habit of knowing and meeting out and reaching to even the simplest of Karkartas. Now, there are various stories which give you a glimpse of how well connected Mulayam Singh was. There's this very famous story from Manpuri that where Mulayam Singh's chopper lifted and he suddenly sees that there is a tent and some sort of arrangements going on down there in a particular village, and he identifies that this is this worker's home. So what has happened? It might be either a cause of happiness or a cause of sorrow that the tent has been brought in, and he forces the chopper to land down. So these were the Mulayam Singh strategies. We have often reported over the period of past 6 or 7 years when
Sorry
Mulayam
to interrupt you there.
Farooq
Abdullah is with me of the National Conference. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. Unfortunate circumstances we are speaking in, Mr. Abdullah.
Very sad news of my friend, associate Mulayam Singh Yadav's death today. He has been a great leader of this nation. a pillar of strength for people who had no one to speak for. A man who stood for everyone. A man who had no enemies, all friends. And he made sure that he kept up with everyone. And sitting next to me in the parliament, I used to have many debates with him on many issues. And he was very clear in his mind about things. And I think the nation will miss him because he was the humblest man I have known, having risen to such heights. He was humble. He used to meet everyone with love and affection and listen to them and try and see how best he could relieve them of their problems. Today, that light has gone. Very sad. It's extremely sad.
Mr. Abdullah, I understand how difficult this must be for you, but if you could just take us through perhaps some of the moments that you shared with him in Parliament as well, your experiences with Netaji, because it's not just the politician that we're celebrating, it's also the person that Mulayam Singh Yadav was that we are celebrating today.
As I said, he was a man you couldn't describe. He was so humble, you know, having all the positions, even as defense minister. And I remember when in 96 he was being tipped for the prime ministership, how humble he was. And when the Yadavs did not agree and we had to choose Gujral Sahib, how he stood by Gujral and how he stood for the unity from north to south and east to west and always spoke for the good. Never had any thought that this fellow is like this. If somebody was wrong, he used to say.
Farooq Abdullah, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Condolences are pouring in for Mulayam Singh Yadav, the SP Supremo, the patriarch of the Samajwadi Party, Netaji for not just the party but for many in the state of Uttar Pradesh, a man who rose from the ground, a son of the soil in its real terms, someone who entered politics as a young man, was active in politics, was active in Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh political scene until illness took over him just a few weeks ago. And Pranchu continues to be with me. And Pranchu, we've just heard one of his colleagues, a dear friend, also recall the kind of humble-natured man that Mulayam Singh Yadav really was. And that's perhaps how everyone is going to remember him now.
Yes, that's right. In fact, Farooq Abdullah makes a very interesting observation. I think Mulayam Singh was the only politician surviving who had very, equally good connect with, say, late Harshan Singh Surjit, the CPIM General Secretary, and also someone within the Sangh Parivar. He also had very good relations with Rajnath Singh, with Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and even the incumbent Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and we have seen the proof of that relationship between the two. But at the same time, he also has equally good relationship, with someone like Sitaram Yechuri or Prakash Karat. So how this man, bridged the divide between the ideological gap between left and right, that is amazing. The way, he has often been soft towards like of Sonia Gandhi, but he has also been equally soft towards the left. And the another important point that, despite all those observations and all those speculations that whether Mulayam has always been soft towards the Bharatiya Janata Party or not, in practical terms, the Samajwadi Party over the period of past 30 years has never been into any understanding or alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party. That has not been the case with likes of the Bahujan Samaj Party, who often criticize the Bharatiya Janata Party. So I think when it comes to the personality relations, personal relations, Mulayam of course believed in having personal relations cutting across the ideological divide. But when it comes to pure politics, I think he very much knew that what his clear politics is, and that's the reason he might be have that capacity or comradeship to just whisper something in ears of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He might be having that comradeship of wishing Prime Minister Modi a second consecutive term. But that, that comradeship didn't actually affect his, his minority supporters on the ground. And no one ever doubted that Samajwadi Party could actually be doing something political sharing in terms with the Bharatiya Janata Party. So what Mulayam